Hi class. Now I know a lot of you have had some contact with the guitar and you do have a fair amount of knowledge of the basics, but let's just talk about a few things since this is a beginner class. Your guitar has a head, a neck, and a body. The guitar neck has a fingerboard or fretboard. Fretboard meaning that it's divided by metal frets. So you have 6 open strings. That is, if you have a six-string guitar, you have 6 open strings. That means I'm hitting it in my right hand, hitting each string, but I'm not pressing anything down. Okay, and we talked about this with tablature. If there's a 0 on a line in tablature, it just means you're doing that. You're hitting an open string. If there's a 1, it means you're putting your first finger down in the first fret. A 2 means you're putting your second finger in the second fret. 3, third finger in the third fret. And 4, fourth finger in the 4th fret. Now, a few things. As far as your left hand goes, you want to try to keep your left arm relaxed. You want to keep your hand straight. And by that I mean this. A lot of people play the guitar and they kind of hold their hand like this, and their pinky ends up having a really hard time reaching for anything. So what I tell people to do is put the arch of your hand on the bottom of the guitar and then just let your hand fall. And what it kind of does is balance things out. It means your pinky will be a little closer to the strings, but your 1, you kind of end up playing a little bit on the side of your 1, and that can feel awkward in the beginning. But it'll make it easier for you to get all your fingers to where they have to go. Now in your right hand, you have a few choices you're going to have to make. You can play with a pick, as I have here, and if I have a pick, I hold it between my thumb and my index finger so that it's pointing into the guitar. And that you have all kinds of picks, thin picks, medium picks, heavy picks. It has to do with how thick the pick is. And usually the thicker the pick, the bigger the sound, but you have more resistance. You can also play with your thumb. You can also play with your fingers, meaning right now, if you want to play with your fingers, I would say focus in on playing with your index and middle finger. Now notice when I play with my right hand, my hand isn't bobbing up and down. You want to develop stability in your right hand. You also don't want to anchor it if you don't have to. I'm a big advocate of having your right hand float, which in the beginning is hard. A lot of people tend to put their pinky down or to hold something down. The more you can get used to keeping your hand free, the more you'll be able to do. There is a lot more you can do with your fingers than with a pick, but it's very different. Usually people that play electric guitar and play rock play with a pick. A lot of jazz players play with a pick. A lot of folk and classical players play with their fingers. So what I want to do is I want to give you an exercise this week because I haven't heard anybody play. So I want to see you all do something. And plus I want to get you acclimated physically to the guitar. So what we're going to do is you're going to play the 6th string open with your finger, with a pick, whatever, like that. Then you're going to put your first finger in the 1st fret. Play that. 2nd finger in the 2nd fret. 3rd finger in the 3rd fret. And 4th finger in the 4th fret. And notice each time I put a finger down, I lift the one behind it, so my fingers are rolling. So I went. I'm doing it on the 5th string. Open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open 3rd string. 1, 2. Go to 3, but not 4. Open 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open 1st string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you don't have to play it fast. You can play it as slow as you want. I just want to see how you're holding the guitar, and I want to get you used to playing with all your fingers on all the strings, and this is the best way to do it right now. What I just played was a chromatic scale. I played one of every note. The reason I don't play the 4th finger on the 3rd string, the 4th finger of the 3rd string is the same as the 2nd string open. and I didn't want to repeat any notes. So when I do this, a chromatic scale is basically playing all half steps, which we'll talk about a little bit more as we go. But that's what I'm doing. When I move from an open string to the first fret, I'm moving a half step. When I play from one fret to the next adjacent fret, I'm moving a half step. Now, I'd also like you to try to do this backwards. If it's too much, then just do it one way. Do it either all backward or all forward, but if you can do both, that would be great. So start on the first string now. Start on your fourth finger, then go to your third, to your second, to your first, and to the open. And do that on every string. Just make a note that on the third string, you're not going to play the 4. You're going to start in 3. Fourth string. Fifth string. Sixth string. It's actually a great warm-up when you start, and you get quicker at it, so it doesn't really take that much time. So do that for me. Do it very slowly. You can do it in one direction, either all up or all back, or if you want to do both, that's great. Play it with your fingers, play it with a pick, whatever. Don't worry about messing up in this class. This is about getting you acclimated to the guitar and introducing you to new things. So that's it. All right, we'll move on, and I'll introduce you to the notes on the first and second string so we can start to actually read music and put it on the guitar. All right.